What is a Prometheus scrape target? A scrape target is an endpoint that exposes metrics to Prometheus, which periodically scrapes the metrics from these targets using the HTTP protocol. How do you optimize Prometheus for high-volume environments? For high-volume environments, optimize by using federation, limiting the number of metrics scraped, reducing retention periods, and using external storage for long-term metrics. How would you implement alert deduplication in Prometheus Alert Manager? Alert deduplication in Alert Manager is achieved by grouping similar alerts based on labels like job or instance before sending notifications to avoid alert fatigue. How can you monitor Prometheus itself? You can use Prometheus to monitor itself by scraping its own /metrics endpoint, which exposes internal metrics about memory usage, scrape performance, and query times. What is a scrape interval in Prometheus, and how does it affect performance? The scrape interval is the frequency at which Prometheus scrapes targets. What is the default port used by Prometheus for its web UI? Prometheus uses port 9090 by default for its web UI and API. Which port is used by Prometheus Alert Manager? Prometheus Alert Manager uses port 9093 by default for its web interface and API. What port does Node Exporter expose metrics on? Node Exporter, by default, exposes metrics on port 9100. What port does the Prometheus Push Gateway use? The Prometheus Push Gateway uses port 9091 by default. How can you change the default port for Prometheus? You can change Prometheus default port by modifying the web.listen address flag in the Prometheus configuration or command line arguments. What is a Prometheus exporter? A Prometheus exporter is a tool or service that gathers and exposes metrics from different systems, both hardware and software, in a format that can be scraped by Prometheus. Name some common Prometheus exporters. Some common Prometheus exporters include Node Exporter for hardware metrics, Black Box Exporter for endpoint monitoring, and cAdvisor for container metrics. Which exporter is used to monitor Linux VMs in Prometheus? The Node Exporter is commonly used to monitor Linux VMs, exposing system metrics like CPU, memory, and disk usage. Which exporter is primarily used to collect container metrics in Kubernetes? cAdvisor, Container Advisor, is the primary exporter used for collecting container metrics like CPU, memory, and network stats in Kubernetes environments. What is the purpose of the Black Box Exporter in Prometheus? The Black Box Exporter allows you to probe and monitor endpoints like HTTP, HTTPS, DNS, ICMP from a black box perspective, focusing on service availability. What exporter would you use to collect MySQL metrics in Prometheus? The MySQL exporter is used to collect metrics from MySQL databases, including performance and operational statistics. How does the Prometheus Push Gateway differ from other exporters? The Push Gateway is designed for short-lived jobs that cannot be scraped directly by Prometheus, allowing them to push their metrics to Prometheus instead. Which exporter is used to monitor Java applications in Prometheus? The JMX exporter is used to monitor Java applications, exposing Java management extensions, JMX, metrics, in a format that Prometheus can scrape. Can you name an exporter used for monitoring Windows VMs? The Windows exporter, formerly known as WMI exporter, is used for monitoring Windows systems, exposing metrics such as CPU, memory, and disk usage. How can you install Node Exporter to monitor a VM in Prometheus? To install Node Exporter on a VM, download the binary from the Prometheus website, extract it, run the binary, and ensure Prometheus is configured to scrape it.